Patriots, Bravo Echo here. Thanks for tuning in to Hope for Survival YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, please reach above and hit the subscribe button. At the end, if you like this information in this video, please hit like and share with others, family and friends, and help us build our YouTube platform. Much appreciated. This is another road video. It's basically the only free time I've had in the last week or two, and probably next week, to actually put out a YouTube video. So thanks for your patience, and hopefully didn't chop my head off in this video. So I'm enjoying life, driving back and forth, racking up the miles and the hours, and I don't know about you, but I kind of like some of the specific locations to run in and grab some road food. You know, the greasy pizza. Yeah, I know it's not the most healthy, but if you can get it when it's fresh, it's actually pretty good. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you. There's a lot of information flowing right now, and specifically to a topic, the 15-minute cities. And you may be watching the videos and not doing some of your own research into the background of the 15-minute city concept. A lot of it is along the lines of Agenda 21, Wilderness Corridor, and Agenda 2030. You can also Google, I think it's called the Mayor's Covenant Group or Mayor's Covenant Organization, something like that, and you can get a lot more detail into the 15-minute cities. Dave Hodges recently this week had a very detailed, free Common Sense Show podcast, and then I think he broke it down in more detail on his paid side. You may be a subscriber, I don't know. But it's all part of the green agenda, and it's being pushed by the WEF, or the World Economic Forum, which is Klaus Schwab. So you can do some of your own research on it. But the thing I find really interesting is kind of a deja vu flashback in ways. 10 to 12 years ago, when Festus and I spent hundreds of hours, if not more, kind of laying out a roadmap to what we were reading and seeing, and executive orders being passed and laws, kind of a merger, if you will. We still had Democrats and Republicans in hat or uniform, but there was always the wonder when certain topics came out why the Conservative Party never spoke up or warned the American people, and why they seemed to buy in to everything that was happening. But when we were mapping out what we believed was at some point in the future, and back then it seemed so far-fetched that it actually seemed crazy, and even people that were into conspiracies looked at us a little bit odd. Well, now 10 or 12 years later, a lot of this information is actually becoming a reality. We had a theory on the lockdown cities. At the time, they were not called 15-minute cities. They didn't have a name yet. But a lot of what we were finding was along the same premise of the 15-minute city. And currently, I believe right now, for the United States, there's I believe they're planning 1,140 locations around America to be a 15-minute city. And what the 15-minute city basically entails is that you will live within a 15-minute range, either by foot, and there's basically going to be a perimeter, if you will, around these 15-minute city locations. And you will be controlled within that range or that perimeter. Everything you need is within it. And in order for you to leave and go outside that zone, you're going to have permission to travel outside of it, whether by public transportation, which is going to become more limited than what the cities offer today, and to go to another state and visit family, you're likely going to have to seek permission, and then you're only going to be authorized maybe 2 to 3 trips outside of the 15-minute range in a year. Now, much of this is going to be controlled through your social credit scoring, which people, a lot of the younger generations, they like this, okay? Everything's out in the open, but what you say in emails, you may not even say it. You may be copied on an email from someone that's blasting the ideology of an existing regime, and because you didn't turn that person in, you are going to get in trouble as well. When I say get in trouble, it's going to adjust down your social credit score, and this means you're going to have less access to food during the period of your punishment, less travel, more restrictions. You may be evicted from a rental property. You may be expelled from a university or a school that you may be attending, depending on your age, or you may be lose your job if you still work. So there's a whole laundry list of punishments for these things, and I know that this is we're in America, it doesn't work this way. Well, it's coming, and it's more out in the open today than it's ever been. So you need to do your own research and study it and learn what it is, how it may impact you, to be knowledgeable of all of it, okay? Don't take what we're saying. Go do your own homework. I have found on topics, the more I study and learn about them, the less fear I have of them, because it allows me to mentally start building a plan. That word plan again. Again, it is a personal choice. One of the big adjusted areas is going to be medical care, minimal access to medical care, and you may or may not know this yet, but the reoccurrence of the C word coming back now, where you're going to start getting more of the requirements to wear the face diaper on your face. I haven't researched it yet, but I was told by a pretty good source. This week that it has been approved in all 50 states. When it's deployed, I don't know, but at the East Coast, the DC, Virginia area, I believe, are already starting it, because crime has escalated to the point now where gangbangers and young teens that are armed are having shootouts, and then they're following the victim of a gunshot being transported. They're following them into the hospital going into the emergency rooms with their firearms and shooting the victims that they had already shot. So to combat that, a lot of the policies are changing from what I was told, that by a person that's out on the East Coast that lives there, is that the only people that's going to be allowed into an emergency room are those being transported by ambulance. Meaning, if you drove yourself or someone drives you by car and you're a walk into the emergency room, you won't be allowed into the hospital, but they're going to be setting up tent cities and you will be treated on the outside and you will not gain access into the facility. You may have a flashback to about 3 years ago when it came about how they had all the tents up outside and they were funneling people into these tents for tests and things of that nature. So yeah, that'll suffice under the scenario of the gangbangers and all that, but it also is a step towards the whole concept of medical care under the 15-minute city. What insurances may or may not be around. Festus and I watched some video 10 or so years ago now from a telecommunication conference from Spain, and they were talking about all kind of crazy stuff that was coming in the future, and it's here now. Things that seemed really, really bizarre, where we watch people put chips under the top of their hand, and they can digitally scan it and access their bank. Well, life in the 15-minute city is going to be very much the same way. And initially, when it's introduced, it's going to seem very, very exciting and promising to many. However, shortly after you're in the program, you're going to have to swear your allegiance to the ideology of this system, or you're basically going to be cut out. Which goes back again to why it's so important today to build your community and get like-minded people for your higher likelihood of surviving the transition. Many believe that right now, I believe 1 September there were numerous banks that came online with the full digital system for digital currency. I don't know that yet. I've been too busy doing other things. However, I have heard, not through the media, but I have heard, and it was publicized in the alternative side, that there are a lot of branch banks being closed down. Okay, so the news goes on and on and on. As peace and peace and peace, you may not realize it, but so much of the many different things that's going on that is overwhelming. In the end state, they all are going to be a part of this global economy, a global monetary system, the lockdowns and so forth. And I know a lot of people I converse with, they make the comment that it'll never make it, there's too many hurdles, there's too many failure points. That may be the case, but I also will say I don't see anyone do anything about it. I don't see anyone in our government warning the American people about anything that is going on. It's just coming, and it's kind of a you're here, and if you're going to live in this system, you're going to have to accept it. And again, that's a personal choice that everyone has to make. So you have to give it some thought, but don't panic. Don't panic over it. Go do your homework and then monitor it. All right, and start thinking about if you're going to opt out of that plan, how you're going to do it. And the more the merrier. The more of the masses will present more problem. All right, so I just wanted to pass that on to you, and keep doing the great things that you're doing. Many of you that feeds information to me on all the preparedness steps and training and events that you're doing in your communities. It's awesome stuff, and I'm proud of all of you. Just stay to the grind. Okay. One thing that I have found over the last 4 years, I'm kind of seeing as a trend, folks. Two things. Folks don't necessarily want to watch videos on how to do things other than cook. I know there's folks who religiously watch cooking videos, and that's cool. But I can post 10 videos, and actually we just hit 100 videos this week. I can post 10 videos. I can post 9 videos on how to do something, and I can post 1 video on the world is going to end tomorrow, and we'll get three times as many views on the world's going to end than on 9 how to do things. Again, it goes back to things that we've been talking about for several years. The psychological psychosis that's going on, that people's brain, it's like they need a daily fix of how bad is it going to be today. So it is what it is. That's a personal choice of how one wants to spend their time. I'm not knocking it. I'm just sharing it. Another thing that through trends that I see, which is interesting, individuals who I talk with regularly, individuals who watch less and read less of the negatives in the world are people who spend more time building their preparedness plan and getting things done, which is interesting. And they tell me they don't have time to watch all the negative news. So just thought I would share that with you. So hey, I'm going to end this video. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit like if you like the information. Leave a comment if you desire. And if you're a lurker, hey, hello to you too. And take care, keep preparing, think positive, have hope, be blessed, and we'll see you next time. Bravo Echo out. Thank you for checking out the Hope for Survival YouTube channel. If you are new to Hope for Survival, you can check out our books at our webpage. Book 1, which is Hope for Survival, Getting You Prepared for Disasters, and Book 2, Hope for Survival, The Mindset, are both available for order on the website. We also offer the Hope for Survival football stick, which is a memory stick set up as a digital filing cabinet with files already loaded on there for you to digitally copy items such as deeds, auto transcript for ownership, wills, living wills, loans, banking information, items that if your home burned down or you had some form of a disaster, you could have all of your important papers already digitally filed on this stick. All you do is simply drag the digital file into the appropriate preset folder so that you'll have it in the event of a disaster. You have to flee your home in a hurry, or also if you're away from home and you need critical information that's personal, if you have your memory stick with you, you can put it in your computer and pull that information up wherever you may be. Again, you can find these items to order at our website, https www.hopeforsurvival.com, or you can email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com, and I will try to help you out. Again, thanks for checking out the Hope for Survival YouTube channel. Hope to see you again.